Y'all, what a day. What a day. We are on day 5 of athletics at the Olympics. The 1500, that final, that stole the show for me. That stole the show today, and I'm going to talk about it. I normally only talk about the sprints and the hurdles. I gave a little shout out for the 800 and the pole vault yesterday, but I'm going to make a little segment in here today to talk about that 1500 because that 1500 was crazy. Crazy. Talk about an upset. That was the upset of the meet. And that was the upset of the games if you want to keep it real. But, yeah, great day on the track. Great day in the 200. Them 400 for the men. Those are starting to look good. The 400 hurdles is looking good. I got some thoughts on that. We're going to get into it. And then we're going to finish with the lane assignments for the 100 hurdles, which is starting tomorrow, which I'm so excited about. But thank y'all. Thank y'all to those of y'all that are watching the videos. The videos are doing good. Like, they starting to climb up into the 1,000 mark. So that's great. Keep thumbsing up the videos. Keep dropping the comments down below because, like I said, that helps push the video out, get more people. I want to have more and more people come in to have conversations because I'm going to be covering track for the rest of my time on YouTube. We got Diamond Leagues after the Olympics to finish out the season. And, yeah, I'm going to be back next season. We got Grand Slam track. We got Diamond Leagues again. We got World Championships in September. So let's go. Subscribe. But let's talk about this today. All right, so this morning I was up. 4 a.m. I was up because I had to see Freddie running that 110 repechage, and I had to see Kendall Ellis running her 400 repechage. Freddie he had my stomach in my throat because I was nervous because I'm like, what he did in that 100 in the first round in the prelims, I was nervous because I'm like, this is your last shot. Hopefully everything goes the way it's supposed to go, and he hit the first hurdle. But he got out, got into his rhythm, clean over the rest. Freddie won his heat 13:42 very comfortably through, even though the boys was behind him. But Freddie looked good. He was not hitting no hurdles the rest of the way. Freddie is one of my favorites to go into. I feel like he's going to make it in the finals. I feel like he can make it in the finals. And I feel like he can threat for the podium spot. I feel like, honestly, to me, Grant Holloway obviously has that one locked up for gold. I feel like Daniel and Rasheed Broadbelt, they are the two that are fighting for silver. But I feel like Freddie can also match that up, too, and really mess it up. It just depends on whose race is the best on the day. But I truly feel like that's where we're going to be at in terms of the medals. We got Samba-Mayela. I can't count him out. I can't count out the Olympic champion, Hansel Parchment, even though he does not look like he's in the form that he typically would be in. But he came and did what he did the last Olympics, so you can't count him out. But Freddie is through to the semifinals that start tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, I think it starts tomorrow. So that's going to be good to watch. The next thing I want to talk about is Shaunae Miller-Uibo. She was in the repechage round, and I was so sad because her fitness is not there. It's not there. She finished the race, but she was dead last. She finished with a time of 53:50. That is not Shaunae Miller-Uibo. That's not the one that we know. So it's sad. I wish she would have taken a season off to kind of like really get herself together, get back in shape. But she didn't. She wanted to run. She got out here, and kudos to her for actually giving it a shot. 'Cause she didn't have to run again, but she did. And she wanted to defend her title. It's pretty clear that she wanted to defend her title, but she couldn't. She had 2 back-to-back titles in the 400 at the Olympics, but it's just not going to happen this time. Unfortunately, she has been eliminated, so she is not there anymore. We're going to move to the 400 for Kendall Ellis. Kendall Ellis, I don't know what happened yesterday in her repechage, but was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. Regardless, I don't know what happened. She finished 5th, and she did not look like herself at all. And I feel like it was possibly nerves, as we saw she was giving herself all these affirmations, telling herself, I got this, you got this, I deserve to be here, da-da-da-da. She's doing the same thing today. But today she looked like she was so much more calm, so much more ready for the mission. She knew it was now or never. I got to do what I got to do. But she ended up doing what she needed to do, and she ended up getting herself to the final. She looked like Kendall Ellis that we all knew from before. She finished, I believe she was 50.5. So she put herself right up in the conversation to where she needs to be going into the semifinals. So Kendall Ellis is through to the semifinals. That is, I think all 3 of our American women have made the semifinals now. If she continues to run like this, she could possibly get in that final. So good for Kendall Ellis. I also want to talk about Tara Davis-Woodhall. Long jump, love her. She's leading right now. I think she only did 2 jumps because her 6.9, that was enough to keep her in first place going into the next round, into the final. So She's safely on through to the finals. Jasmine Moore got in the finals as well. All of our American women have made the finals for the long jump as well, and that's kind of a theme. America's doing good in track and field. We got a lot of people getting medals and making the finals. So that's what we got going. That was earlier this morning. We're now gonna move into what just happened and this afternoon, because it was some magic. It was some fire on the track. All right, so we got to the 400 semifinals for the men. Quincy Hall, my dude, my guy, grills down, gold grills. Isn't it going to be so interesting if he ends up winning gold with them gold grills in his mouth? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do the crip walk. If he wins gold with them gold grills, I got to do the crip walk for the culture. I got to do it for the culture. Because, like, homeboy is out here running, and he is looking like a true favorite to win. Like, he's running. This heat that he ran, I'm looking at it back to the last little clip of it, but he got out strong like he always does. He fights. He looks like he's literally fighting tooth and nail, even though essentially I feel like in his own way, that's really not even him giving it all. But he gives it all the way to about maybe 330, 340. He started to then shut it down. He was ahead of everybody on the turn, the second turn to come home. Getting off of that, because he fought his way in that turn, but getting off the turn, he was easily in first place. He's just coming home like the G that he is, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to win gold, and he looks like he is a strong favorite to do so. He finished with 43.95. Jereem Richards, Trinidad and Tobago, he's right there behind him, 44.33. He's looking good going into the finals. So those two boys are big cues going into the final from this heat. In the next heat, another gold medal threat favorite, Kirani James. He ran this super duper smooth, super controlled. And then you look at the Zambian who was in the heat with him, who was running full-fledged. The first 200, he was gone. I was like, hopefully he got enough to really bring it back home, because I'm like, if you're taking it out, even though he's taking it, you're doing what you're supposed to do. In a 400, you should take the first 200 and blitz it so that when you do get off that turn, you can kind of cruise home when it comes to the way you want to finish in the semifinal, unless you have to kick. And if you have to kick. But he was pushing. He ran like, it essentially looked like he was running 4 100s, like the whole way. And Kirani could feel him coming home, and he kind of like outleaned him at the line. So them two, 43.78, it's like, and then that's the thing too with Quincy. He ran 43. Did I tell what his time was? His time was 43.95. Running 43s in semifinals, crazy, especially when you're doing it with ease. Like Quincy was coming off the gas coming home too, like the last 20, 30 meters. And Kirani was smooth the whole way. You could tell he had so much more to give. So the world record's 43.03. Wade Van Niekerk, my favorite 400 runner of all time. Could it be under threat? I honestly believe it could be. They might get real close, but we're going to see. But that was them. And now in the next heat we got is Matthew Hudson-Smith versus Michael Norman. I was very intrigued to see how Michael was looking. I already knew MHS, Matthew Hudson-Smith, I already knew he was going to be looking good, because he's been looking good all season. Michael Norman, I was like, let's see how Michael is doing, because I feel like he sometimes gets in his head in these big meets, because especially with it being the Olympics, because of what happened at the last Olympics. He was in Tokyo, which is his mother's home country. I feel like he put a lot of pressure on himself, because then in the finals, we saw what happened in the finals. So I feel like he's looking at this as his time to really redeem what could have been his medal there at the finals in Tokyo. He ran the first 200 hella reserved. I was like, what's going on? Like, you kind of doing it backwards, because you're giving yourself more work to do coming home. You want to give yourself less work coming home, because Matthew Hudson-Smith was gone. He was gone. Coming off the turn, that second turn to come home down the straight, he was getting off the gas. Like, he was ahead of everybody. Michael was like in fourth coming off the turn, so he had to work to come home, because third and fourth was right behind him. Like, they was right there with him. So he had to fight to get home. Matthew Hudson-Smith was off the gas the last 20 meters. He ran 44.07. Big Q, 44.07 coming off the gas like that. He got 43 in them legs, probably 43 low. Michael Norman, we know he can go 43. I just hope it happens the way he looks in this. I'm like, you got so much more work to do for this final. Maybe he was trying to pace himself to have so much more energy to have in the final, so maybe that'll work out in his favor. But right now, my big three is Matthew Hudson-Smith, Quincy Hall, and Kirani James. That is my big three going into the finals. But as we have the finals, the qualifiers leading into the finals is Kirani James, 43.78. I'm not even going to butcher his name, but the Zambian, 43.81. Quincy Hall, 43.95. Matthew Hudson-Smith, Michael Norman, Chris Bailey. So you see we got three Americans again in the finals. We've had three Americans in the finals in the 100 with TT, Shakari, and Melissa. We had three in the 100 final for the men with Fred, Kenny, and Noah. We had three in the final tonight with Mackenzie, Gabby, and Brittany in the 200. We got four in the finals here too. America's doing it. But Jereem Richards is in there, Chris Bailey, and Ogazi. So that's going to be good. That's going to be a good final. Like I said, I already told you my top three. I'm rooting for Quincy Hall to win gold, and I truly believe that he can do it. I think he can do it, and I think he will do it. And I hope he got them gold grills in his mouth like he always does, because I'm telling you, I'm going to hit the crip walk. I'm going to be crip walking in here. But I would love for any one of those three to win a medal. I would love for Michael Norman to win a medal. Maybe he'll come out here and shock us all and put together his best race, because Noah Lyles did it. I'm sure a lot of us wrote him off after that semifinal, because I damn sure did. But you saw what he turned around and did. But the men's 400 final is looking good. It's looking really, really good. So that's what we got coming into there. So we're now going to move into the women's 400 hurdle semifinals. The first heat, we got Rushell Clayton and Jasmine Jones and Lena Nielsen. I want to talk about her as well, because those were the three that I was like, okay. I immediately knew Rushell Clayton. I was not doubting her. I knew she was going to win this. I already knew she was going to win this, because she, in my opinion, is kind of, it's between her and Anna Cockrell for third for me, because we already know first and second is going to come between Sydney and Femke. So that's 1 and 2 locked up for gold and silver. Third, the way Anna's been running this season, but also the way Rushell has been running this season, and Rushell has been on podiums before. These two are the two that I'm looking at for third. So Rushell got out like she was on a mission. She was on a mission that whole race. She got off the turn ahead of everybody and was booking it home. She ran 53 flat. Jasmine Jones, she was right behind Rushell Clayton off of, well, she wasn't right behind her, but she was in second place coming off probably hurdle 7 going into 8. Yeah, coming off 8, she was in second place. But everybody else was coming behind her. And I could tell, I was like, either she's trying to reserve energy coming home because she thinks that she's got it. I don't know if she's looking up at the board. I couldn't tell. But coming into hurdle 9, they coming behind her. Lena Nielsen, to be exact. Coming into 9, she was coming. And I was like, she might have something for Jasmine that might have Jasmine need to wake up so they can run down on that line. Lena jumped over 10 and hit the hurdle and fell. I was like, damn. But Jasmine was running home, and the French girl, was it the French girl? No, it was the South African. She was coming behind Jasmine as Jasmine was kind of like easing up, like, I got second. No, I'm glad she felt her coming, because when she felt her coming, she leaned at the line. So Rushell Clayton, Jasmine Jones into the finals. Jasmine qualified with a 53.83 into the finals. So they're through. Next, we move on to the GOAT, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. You could tell Sydney is trying to figure out what her stride pattern is going to be. I was trying to watch, but I just got so enamored with watching her just dust these girls like she always does. But I'm going to go back and rewatch it. Let me watch it now. I was trying to count how many steps she was taking in between hurdles, because we all know she's been working on trying to figure out her stride pattern in between hurdles to see what she needs to do, because this track is fast. Everybody's been saying this track is fast. And we see that this track is fast, considering especially the 100 times and that 1,500 time, the 800 times, like, they're fast. So this track is fast, and with her running on a fast track with certain steps, she could come up on a hurdle a lot quicker than she would on any other normal track. So she was stutter stepping. I don't want to say stutter stepping, but she was kind of chopping steps in between hurdles, even though she was ahead of everybody else. So she can do that. She can try and figure out what's going on, because the semifinal essentially to her is a damn prelim for her. Like, everybody else, this is a semifinal. It's basically a final for them, because there's 2 races going on at once. It's Sydney versus herself. It's Sydney versus the clock, but the rest of them are versus each other. But she was trying to figure out you can tell she was trying to figure out what her stride pattern is going to be. And I hope she's figured it out because she's going to be if she's trying to figure it out while running that final, I don't think she's going to lose. I refuse to bet against her. I always believe that Sydney is going to get it done because she always does. But Femke Bol, the way Femke Bol has been looking, and we're going to talk about her in a minute, she's going to be closer to Sydney than she ever has. That's my opinion. I don't think she's going to beat her, but I can't say that she won't because Femke Bol's been looking good, even though she ran 50 seconds a couple weeks ago, probably a month ago now. But that was a fast track, too, so we haven't seen her run 50 twice like we've seen Sydney run 50 twice. And Sydney ran 52:13 jogging home. Like, look at this picture that I'm about to put right here. Look at the gap between Sydney and the rest of the field. Like, come on. But she ran 52:13. Duh, Sydney McLaughlin. Like, I had a feeling she was going to run 52 low. And that's what she did. But we moved to semifinals number 3, which featured Femke Bol and Anna Cockrell. Anna Cockrell, there was a little issue in their first go at it because when they was in the blocks, she threw her hand up because obviously she didn't feel comfortable. So you're supposed to, whenever you see the athlete throwing their hand up, you're supposed to call everybody up. But they shot the gun off. And they didn't shoot it back twice for a good maybe 8 meters. Like, them girls was getting out. And Anna was still sitting there. I was like, oh, shit. But they pulled it back, went another round. She looked like she was a little nervous waiting to go back into it. But she did fine. Like, she ran 52:90. I got to talk about this, though, because she got out. Because Anna's been running really, really good this season. Like, her first 250 is always really, really good. But it's really, really good now because she's making up the stagger on everybody. Kind of similar to how Sydney would do, how her training partner Dalilah Muhammad used to do. Like, Dalilah used to always get out. Her first 200 would be like blistering. Nobody could keep up with her. But she's doing that like how Sydney's doing. But she made up the stagger on the girl in front of her. But Femke Bol was in the lane behind Anna Cockrell, and she rolled up on Anna's shoulder. Anna was over there booking that girl, but Femke was barely, it looked like Femke Bol was barely moving. And that's the thing, too, that's scary. Her and Sydney both run so damn fast, but they look like they're not running at all. And they're literally making up staggers on people. But she came home. Femke Bol didn't look like she was really hitting the gas. And she ran 52:57. So that's what I'm talking about when it's kind of scary. Because it's like she could possibly challenge Sydney. Like I said, I don't think she's going to beat her. I don't. A lot of people are thinking and saying that she probably is going to beat Sydney. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I don't believe that. I believe Sydney is going to run 49. Call me crazy, call me delusional, but Sydney McLaughlin has proven that the unthinkable can happen. And I love that they showed the video of her running her world record at trials up against the 400 final for the last Olympics, where she would have finished 7th in a final in the 400 running 400 hurdles. Crazy. If that don't tell you how goated that girl is, like, she's literally the best athlete. Like how she beat, and that's the thing too. When we get to the semifinals, or when we get to the finals for the 200, well, I'm gonna talk about it now. I looked at the finals for the finals of the 200. Sydney's time that she ran back 2 months ago in LA in that 200 where she beat Gabby, she ran 22:04. Her time in LA in that final, she would have gotten silver. Crazy. But we're going to get to it. But going into the finals for the 400 hurdles, we got Sydney McLaughlin, Femke Bol, Anna Cockrell, Rushell Clayton. That's the top 4 qualifying times. So the lane assignment is going to be interesting. But they should be in the premier lanes. Those 4 should be in the premier lanes. Obviously, Sydney's going to be in the most premier, as well as Femke Bol. It'll be interesting to see if they have Femke behind Sydney, which I don't see that happening. But that would be interesting to see, because if Femke could kind of like key off of Sydney, where Sydney don't see where Femke at, that would be interesting. But we'll see. But Jasmine Jones is in there. Salmon of Jamaica is in there as well. So we got 2 Jamaicans versus 3 Americans and Femke Bol of the Netherlands. So that's gonna be good. Now we move to the meet. Or not the meet, the events of the meet so far for me. For me, I never thought I would say it, but the 1500 is the meet of the season so far. Or the meet is the event of the meet so far. We all knew they was building it up. Jakob Ingebrigtsen versus Josh Kerr. We already know how their rivalry goes. Olympic champion, world champion. We got the reigning Olympic champion in Ingebrigtsen, and we got the world champion in Josh Kerr. And then we got the big three, which would be Cole Hocker, and then we got Yared Nuguse of America. Both of them boys, we was rooting for them. We wanted at least one of them to get a medal because I was thinking, which I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all were, because it was definitely an upset. The two that we knew was going to be topping the podium challenging each other, that's what we thought was going to be 1 and 2, and then we was going to wait for the next one. Jakob he set that pace. I was like, oh shit, like he trying to literally gas these boys out. So he playing chess. Like he was like, let me get out here and set this pace, have y'all trying to run with me, run my race, so I can literally get y'all ass to the point where y'all worn out trying to catch up with me, because they was on world record pace at one point. Final lap, our American boys, Cole Hocker and Yared Nuguse, they were, I think, 4th and 5th. There was a Kenyan in between them, and then Josh and Jakob were in the front. Jakob was in the front. Josh was right behind him. Well, actually, no, he wasn't. Josh was in 3rd. The Kenyan fell to the back on the backstretch of the final lap. Yared and Cole were making their move. Cole was really making his move at this point, getting up into 3rd, up on Josh and Jakob. Coming around the turn to come home for the final kick. Cole was in between. He was right there. I swear, like, Cole was right there with. Let me pull it up. He was right there with Josh. And he was trying to get in between Josh and Jakob to go ahead and kick to go home. But I forget if it was. I feel like it was Jakob. Stopped him in his tracks. Like, he didn't stop him completely, but he stopped him from making that move that he was trying to make. I was like, oh, fuck. This might throw him off. Yared is now in 4th, so it's 2 Americans versus the 2 that we knew was going to be up on the podium. Cole Hocker said, nah, you might stop me here, but you ain't about to stop me all the way. He started booking it, because as he was booking it, Josh Kerr came on the outside and was beating Yared, Jakob. So he was in the front at this point. Josh was in 1st. Here comes Cole on the side, and then here comes as they're making their move, Jakob is fading, and that was the shocker. I was like, what the fuck? He's fading in the last, 50 meters, and 1 and 2 is up here. I'm like, okay, here comes Nuguse. Nuguse is coming, and I'm like, Nuguse is coming. These two are already out in front. The Olympic champion is in 4th place. He missed out on a medal. I was shook. Not only that, last 10 meters, Cole passes Josh and becomes the Olympic champion. Not only that, Nuguse came on the line and almost knocked Josh to 3rd. That would have been a 1-2 sweep for America. We got 2 Americans on the podium in the 1500. I think they said it was so long since we last had that. Like the times themselves, they said it was the first time in 112. Shout out to Travis Miller. If you follow track, you know who I'm talking about. That's where you're gonna get all the stats and remember everything. But first time in 112 years, Team USA has had 2 men Olympic 1500 meter medalists. That is insane. Congratulations to them boys. Congratulations to Josh Kerr. He at least got a medal. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he's very, very cocky. That was a humbling moment for him. That was a very humbling moment for him. But that is what I wanted to talk about. That was the meet. That was the race of the meet for me so far. The race of the meet for me. Crazy. But now, let's get into the event that we was waiting for. The 200 final for the women. Again, we got Jessica Gabby. We got Mackenzie Long. We got Daryll, Neita, Dina Asher-Smith, Brittany Brown, Favor Philly, Gabby Thomas, and the Olympic champion in the 100 meters, Julien Alfred. You already know what I've been saying. I've been predicting it. I said it's going to come down to Julien versus Gabby. And considering how that London meet went, I was like, it's going to be neck and neck. It's going to be neck and neck. And especially considering how Julien just won and the way she was running them rounds, I said it's going to be really neck and neck. And considering the lane assignments, like I said, Julien being out in front and Gabby being behind her, I was like, Gabby's going to have to do the same thing that she did in London. And I don't think it's going to happen. That's what I was saying. I was like, silver medal. That's what I was thinking. They shot that gun off. And Gabby was right there because it was Dina and Julien. They got out the best, if you ask me. But Gabby was right there with them coming off the turn. And that's when I said, oh, shit. Because I already knew Gabby was going to come into this particular race knowing that this is her shot to get that gold medal. Because Shericka Jackson is not here. Shericka was the only person stopping her from getting a medal. And the fact that she was not here, Gabby knew that. This was my time to shine. And when I tell you she came off that turn, she was already in the lead. The race was over. She stretched out. Julien was right there in second place comfortably. But the race for bronze, that was where I was looking. I was like, Dina was in third place. I was like, Dina, get your medal. All the way to like the last 10. Because Daryll, Neita, and Brittany Brown, they was coming. And then it got to the point where they was right there with Dina on the line. Blanket. All three of them on the line. Brittany Brown got the lean and got her medal. Brittany Brown, I told y'all, one thing about her, she gonna find a way. Form might not be ideal, but she gonna find a way. And Brittany Brown got her medal. This is her second global medal. She got one in World Championships, 2019, silver. Now she's a bronze Olympic medalist. Her first Olympic appearance, and she got her a medal. Shout out to her. Shout out to Juju. I told y'all she's going to leave out of here with 2 medals. I told y'all that in the freaking heats for the 100s. I just knew she's going to leave out of here with a medal. 2 medals to be exact. And that's what she got. Silver medal. I know she's not upset about that. And Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas was elated. She was so excited. She ran 21.83. Like I said, I didn't see her getting down to 21.4, but I thought she for sure could get down to maybe 21.7, 21.6 again. But the way she ran yesterday, I feel like that might have possibly stopped her from going a lot faster. But she got what she needed. Fuck the time. As long as I get the gold medal, that's all that matters. And she got the gold medal. Dina Asher-Smith was 4th, 22-22. I know she's beating herself up, and I hope she's not. But I know she is because she was so upset about that 100. Like, that's the second time she got out on the semifinals in Tokyo in the games. Because she got out in the semifinals in Tokyo. She got out in the semifinals this year in the 100. And she really wants to get a medal in the 100. But she couldn't do it. And she lost her medal on the line here in the 200. So that sucks. But I feel like she definitely going to get a medal in that 4x1. Especially with Jamaica having their B team without Shericka and Shelly in that 4x1. They're, in my opinion, I feel like they locked up for silver. But Daryll Neita 22-23 for 5th place. Favor Philly 22-24 for 6th place. So they was close. 3rd to 6th was close. And shout out to Mackenzie Long. She was in 2. For her to not finish dead last, shout out to you, Mackenzie. Your first pro meet, you got to the Olympic final and did not finish last. That is something to be proud of. Shout out to Mackenzie Long. She got 7th, and Jessica Gabby 22.70. It was a good final. But like I said, Sydney McLaughlin, if she ran what she ran in L.A. here, she would have gotten a silver medal. Crazy. But another great day on the track, y'all. Another great day on the track. We got the 100-meter hurdles. Let me pull that up. Hold on. All right, so in the 100-meter hurdles for the first heat, in this first heat, I was like, when I looked at this, I was like, why they got them in this heat together? But then again, there's a lot of girls in contention, and there's only 5 heats. But we got my girl, Alacia Johnson. She is in the first heat. She's in lane 7. And we got Toby Amasan, the world record holder, 22 world champion. She is in lane 9. So these two are the 2 favorites in this one. Top 3 go on to the finals to the semifinals, as we know. The next 3 fastest times will qualify onto the semifinals as well. And then there's a repechage round. I don't want none of the big hitters in the repechage because I need them rested for the semifinals to get into the finals. But we got Lay and Toby in that one. That's going to be good. Heat 2, we got Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Denisha Cartwright. Those are the 2 big hitters. Cindy Simbers in here as well. JCQ, we already see her winning that. Heat 3, we got Masai Russell with Serena Samba-Mayela and Nadine Visser. I don't know who's going to win this one. It could be Masai or it could be Serena, but that's going to be good. Heat 4, Danielle Williams. I see her winning this. She got Dataji Kambunji in here as well. I see her moving through. Heat 5 is the heat with the most stacked. You got Devin Charlton, you got Akira Nugent, and you got Grace Stark. them hurdles is about to go. That's gonna end up being the race of the meet. Because I feel like you're gonna have to run 12-2 to get a medal. That's what I feel. I feel like there's no way. Because like you got Masai Russell with the world lead 12:25, Akira Nugent 12:28, Lele, Serena Samba-Mayela, and Grace Stark 12:31. And the American women had to run damn near 12-2 to get on the team. There were 3 women, 2 of which are staples for making teams. Kenny Harrison and Nia Ali ran 12-3. Antonia Marshall ran 12-3 in the U.S. Trials final and did not make the team. And then we got Toby Amazon. She done ran 12-12. She done ran 12:08. It was wind aided, but she still ran it 12:06. And then you got the world record holder indoor, Devin Charlton. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. But stay locked to the channel, y'all. Please thumbs up the video. Drop y'all's comments down below. Subscribe if you are new. Because I'm going to be here. And I'm going to try and give y'all all this energy. But I love doing this. This is my passion. That's why I'm going to continue to do it. But I will see y'all tomorrow. I'm probably do my video early tomorrow because I'm going to be up early to watch them heats for the hurdles. Lay gonna have me when Lay runs, I'll be like this. So I'm gonna be nervous, up wide awake at 4 a.m. But I will see y'all then. Peace.